It's 3:10 in the morning. Now it's Monday, March 7, 2022 on the east coast of the US here in New Jersey. I hope this is the last video that I ever do. My heart is extremely heavy. I came on here for a couple of reasons. I wanted to go over this again with these pictures, even though it's not being received well at all. And that bothers me a lot, not just because of some picture, but in general. I can't even begin to explain the way I feel. Extremely sad. And also from looking at the face that I captured from that sun image, and how sad I am from just looking at the eyes, but not just from the picture from the sun, but this other picture that I took about 4 months ago. It's a thumbnail on a video I did. You could go back and find it if you'd like. And it's a very similar shot of the sun picture. I'll put it up in a minute. It's down here, right here on the left. It's smoke from an eruption at Palma, and it's a face, and the face to me looks exactly the same as the sun image, but it looks like if someone was in a costume and changed costumes, but you could still recognize their eyes, and the eyes are what gets me. And with that shot, again, I'm going to put it up in a second. Not that I feel like it'll even really matter, to be honest with you. Like I said, the pictures didn't come out well. They get too pixelated, and it's just a terrible image to show. It doesn't look very good, and I have to face that kind of scrutiny, and all those things. And I don't know, I can't even describe how I feel deep in my gut. And plus that I feel that Jesus is so close to occurring, and it's almost like he was here, like I saw him with what I saw with this image that I saw on the sun. And well, to me anyway, whatever someone else thinks or feels, that's not me. Even if it's just happened to me personally, to me this was a big sign given to me. Whether it's for anyone else, I'm sharing it, but that's whatever someone wants to think. To me, it's very special. And again, when I look at this other photo with the tear in its eye, and it looks like the same face. To me, it does. It looks exactly the same, although the picture and the color and everything is totally different, but yet to me, when I look at both and compare them, I see the same face, and I get such a sorrow that I can't even look at it, and I can't even come on here right now. And plus the fact that it just happened to me, and it seems like a sign, a special sign that I got. Again, whether it's a private thing or what, to me it'll always be special, like something that was shown to me and given to me. And again, I can't accurately really show it, but I see it, I saw it, I'm looking at it right now. And that sun picture, that image, it looks like a Jewish person. I mean, to me, it's a spitting image of a Jewish person. And I mean, to me, there's no odds. That's not a coincidence. That's a face to me. Absolutely, it's not an accident. I didn't Photoshop this. Or someone may say, well, it doesn't look like a face to me at all. So, well, that's okay. That's fine. I mean, again, so many things have made me sorrowful, even through the years, for so many reasons, being here on YouTube, but not just that, but just the church in general, and so many things that, and I'm not gonna harp on this. I've spoken about this so many times, but it just, it's just, I don't want to say anymore. I really don't. Um, anyway, okay, so I got the image when I was on spaceweather.com. I mentioned the site. That was whatever it was, yesterday or the day before when I saw it. And the odds are crazy to even have spotted that, because the image is gone now. It's just something they put up there. They keep rotating pictures, and it was only like a 2 or 3 second loop. And I don't ever go on that site. It's just one of my hundreds and hundreds of links, and I have so many links that I really haven't even sorted out on from everything on my computer, between the volcano and now this war and so on. But anyway, I was on there for that 1 second, and I stopped and I looked and I spotted it with my eye, just with my bare eye, and it was very small and very faint. And I looked and looked, and I said, "There's a face in there." So I took the shot, and then thankfully I could retrieve some shots, though they're scattered. You can't see it. It's not together very well. The image hasn't held together, but I think you could see what I tried to show, hopefully. And for that image itself to be there, that image was there for those 3 seconds of all the images, whoever took that shot or what have you. But I guess if that was a true sign from Jesus, then he knew I'd be watching it at that moment, and so he did that right at that second, so I could see it and share it, however the response might be or not. So I think the sorrow that I get from his eyes is the same sorrow that I feel inside of me for a lot of different reasons. And also the other main reason I came on here again, I'll repeat it, that, like I said, something is going to happen, something so horrendous is going to happen, and Jesus is returning, and all at once here. This is, I can't stop this. It's just going through me in the deepest part of me. These feelings, it's like the moment has come. I don't know what else I don't know. It just feels like any moment this is going to happen. I believe that it's because Jesus will appear at any moment, and of course all that's going to happen is likely to follow, maybe right at that moment, or right after that, or shortly after that, will probably take place in the world. Again, I think he was showing me La Palma. It's this La Palma sign also of a flood, and that it's a very last second sign. The sign to me seems like it happened right this moment, and it's like a final kind of sign, like that's it, And again, I feel like I saw him personally, although of course I just saw some image, but that's exactly how I feel since I saw this, and now doing the videos on it, and how I keep feeling and looking at these photos. I feel like he's here with me, like if I see his face, it's not going to surprise me, because it's like I already know. Not that I know what he looks like, but I don't know, maybe that is what he looks like. But because I don't know, just the faith and his presence that he's put within me, it's like he's right here with me. It's like I don't need to see his face, because like I see it in the sense of, in the spirit, if you know what I'm saying. So if I see him, I don't know if you even understand what I'm trying to say. I won't be surprised, because he's given me such hope and faith and his presence with me, that it's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like I already experienced it. It's like, it's that real to me right this second. What I'm trying to say is, if Jesus appeared right now, and that was his face, and that's what he looked like, then it would be like I already saw him. That kind of thing, so familiar. I don't know if you know what I'm trying to say. I just felt like I couldn't even come on here to talk. I really did, and I hope that we're gone from here, and I hope really I'm off of YouTube for a lot of reasons. All right, so now I'll reluctantly show these pictures, and because that's all I have, that's all that I could conjure up here with these photos, and whatever someone thinks, that's what they think. If you could see it, then you can. If it's not that visible, then it's not. All right. I tried everything I could to get the lighting and everything. It probably looks horrible, but here's the face on the left that I took. Oh, let me see the date. Actually, it says I don't know, whatever. Anyway, it was about 4 months ago, and this is the picture right there. You could see that was from the smoke. I don't know if you could even see it. I'm looking at it. It's total face, and it's just from the smoke. It wasn't made up and created, you know. It's not fake is what I'm trying to say. And I don't know if you could see there's a tear right there, and that was right over La Palma. If that was some kind of sign too, a sign of Jesus utterly crushed because of what's going to happen, his judgment, and what's coming, and he's going to allow that once he takes believers out of here. And I try to show what I can just of the eyes. If you could look at the eyes, I know it's going to be said, I don't see any similarity or whatever. I'm trying to say what I'm seeing, and to me, again, it looks like, even though it might look like someone dressed changed into a different costume, but to me the eyes, I don't know if you could see it, but I see it clearly. And when I look at the eyes, it looks like the same eyes, the same general look and shape. Although that one up there, the cloud one, is very, very sad. These other ones are more, I don't know how to describe that, piercing and just truth, straightforward, like seeing through everything, power, that kind of look, but yet the same sorrow, to me, the same. Again, if someone else doesn't see it that way, well, that's fine. I'm telling you just my feelings, because it's my video, and so I'm the one doing it. So I experienced it, and it's personal to me, and I wanted to share it. That's all. So I'm not gonna. I don't feel like going back and keep switching to shut this off. So usually I do that so I could not stumble and fumble over words. All right. So that's about it. I'm sure there's more I want to say, but again, I'm not gonna. I don't feel like stopping this video. Really, I said what I had to say. Again, I can't even describe how I feel. Not only because of what's about to happen in the world any second here, and that Jesus is going to return any second here, but just summing it all up in so many ways. I can't imagine what Jesus went through. That who could have understood him? Really, did anyone? I mean, did anyone really understand him? Even very much, even at all. So I would imagine that was a big part of Jesus' experience on earth. The way he thought and what he was trying to say, and the life that he was trying to bring, and his just wisdom and everything else. That pretty much, I think he was alone. He was alone in the world, as incredible as that sounds. Despite everything, despite all he wanted to show to others and show his love and his salvation, and to be opposed, and he's being opposed now by about 98% of the church. You know, again, I'm not going to go into this anymore, but to me that's the way it seems like. And those who unfortunately they claim to believe in Jesus, but I'm just going to leave it there. I don't feel like getting into all this, and then the whole thing with grace and all that. That's my observation and opinion and what I felt all along. Like, you know, to me, it's like, I don't know what percent, but let me put it this way. It seems like there's very, 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 very few people out there who are true believers, who really get it. You know, it's like, it's all Jesus. It's just his spirit in you, and everything else is hogwash. It really is. All the doctrine, all the going back and forth, everything else, you know, putting emphasis on so many things, but the emphasis is not on Jesus himself. All right, Jesus within you, no assurance of salvation. You know, even all the dreams and visions and everything I've had to endure. Of course, there's such that, you know, that I like to watch that encourage me, especially about Jesus returning. But that's very pretty much rare thing. And so I mean, there's so much that's not of God. There's so much that's just, I don't care what it is, whether it's signs or whatever. It's just, I'm sorry, I can't talk now. And again, I said I'm not going to shut this off, because I used to do videos long ago where I really didn't, well, I did shut it off a lot, but sometimes I just did like this. I don't care. You know, I'm just going to talk, and if I pause, I pause. And if I don't know what to say, you know, then I don't know what to say. And so, you know, I always feel like I'm under some kind of time constraint or restraint to say something, because, you know, to be honest, really no one stays to even listen to things. And if you think I'm being like selfish or self-pitying, then it's not about me. It's not about me. That's not true. I'm not saying it for that reason whatsoever. That I say these things, but out of a deep sorrow and unfortunate reality, unfortunately, of all there is in so-called church and so-called Christianity and so-called faith in Jesus and all the whole thing, and the percentage of it is so extremely minute and low of what's of him, and just simple of his heart, of his spirit, and toward him, and he's the emphasis, that it's hard for me to comprehend. It really is. It's just, so I mean, again, I'm kind of like, don't even want to talk anymore. And again, if whatever I say, that's it. I mean, I really don't have any more to say, many more that I want to say, or that would come off in a way that would seem like I should say it. And again, because I think it's the last moments here, and so that's it, I guess. So if you saw it, you know, if you saw it, you saw it. If you see his eyes, I don't even know if you could see that. I see like the same eyes, the same shape, even though it's a totally different scenario and colors, scheme, and graphics and setting and everything else. But that's what I see. I see Jesus, and that's all I think I want to see anymore, or ever wanted to see. And that's all I've been trying to show others to see. I know these are poor images again, and I don't know what Jesus looks like, but to me, that would sure seem to be looks very much Jewish, very Jewish looking. Maybe not the smoke one, but these others. So again, I saw so many things, took so many shots, all different kind of images that I never ever even showed, again, because probably wouldn't be believed, first of all, and second of all, because again, the quality of the photos, they just disintegrate and pixelate when I try to take shots and then repost them and show them on my computer, and it just looks like garbage. So I never did. And I had one shot that I really wanted to show for a long time. It totally was a white horse from the clouds. It looked just like a white horse in the sky, okay? A white horse. And it looked so perfect. But I never showed it because, again, it wouldn't have shown. I tried to record it and everything, and I tried to replay it myself, and it didn't look good, and the color was off, and I couldn't get the lighting and all that, and it's been that way the whole time. Even when I tried to show angels, I've had so many sightings of them on footage, of live footage, and recorded live from the day of when the volcano was really going crazy all that time. And again, I tried to show that too, and very, very little response. But again, to me, it's been precious, even if it was just meant for me as a private thing. It was a very special time in all of this. And so, again, I tried to do what I felt I was on here to do, to just speak the truth in the heart of Jesus and what he had to say through me. So, to put it bluntly, not that I'm the fount of all truth and knowledge myself. That's not what I'm saying. But I think Jesus gave me things to say, and really others just were cold to it, to the truth that I said. Really couldn't grasp it or couldn't understand it. Really was opposed tooth and nail, really most of the way, in the things that I tried to do, and really isolated. It isolated me from just about everyone in any camp, so-called camp out there. And so here I am, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine if I was never on here. I'm fine if no one ever saw my face or heard my voice. I'm fine because, of my spirit, the way I feel right now. Just, even though it's a sorrow, it's a good sorrow. It's a sorrow of, having done what and I don't even want to say did, like a job, but in other words, through being on here, I tried to stick to my guns and speak the truth, no matter who or what oppose that, and still oppose that. And it's brought me, to be outcast in so many ways that I can't even describe it. It's not necessary to even describe it. And again, it's not like an ego thing. I'm saying this, so I don't even know why I'm saying it, because I guess just get it out and say it, because I think we're at the last moments, and that's the way it is, and that's great. That's the way it is, because I think that's the way it was with Jesus. I don't think he received any better experience on this earth, spiritually with others or whatever. But I think that was his experience too. He was a man of sorrow and acquainted with grief. It says in Scripture, and I could sure relate to that. I'm not a proud person. I feel so humble and humbled here right now, saying this as if I'm speaking it to no one, or just one person that I'm saying this to, because I didn't need to be here to get views or to be heard or to be popular. And there's so much of that out there, and there's so many out there following others for that reason. And so, I'm not popular, and I thank God I'm not. Really, I do. I don't like to really be that way in the attention of everything, but it has bothered me that so many others go after this person or that person or this teaching or this sign or this dream, but where's Jesus, and where's the truth? Where's salvation? They don't have. Most of those don't have assurance of their salvation. They spit on grace. They spit on Jesus, on his grace, and they don't want to hear it. And I've warned over and over and over. So, I mean, I'm done. I really am. I'm done warning. I just hope he returns. I have no, I feel fine. I'm not coming on here because whatever someone wants to think why I'm saying this, I feel fine. Really. So, whatever. So that's it, I guess. Anyway, let me get out of this. Maybe I will pause for a second, see if I have something final that I want to say here. I guess the last thing would be, I don't want to say this, but in light of all that I just said, that I hope this isn't true, but I think there might be so many surprises, not just when Jesus returns, but, if someone is no longer in this world before that happens, because of what I see out there as far as belief goes, and the self-righteousness, utter self-righteousness and deception. So many think they're following Jesus, and they're trying to be good and trying to do what they can to be holy, and it's in their own power, and they don't realize it. They won't accept that it's all of God's mercy. It's all because Jesus is within us, and because of his Spirit being within us, that makes us holy and sanctified, and to be born of him, of his Spirit, a new person. And that's, where do you hear that, really? Where do you hear that in most of, the works crowd, but also now the total deception with grace? It's become something totally different, something where the whole heart and life is also gone. So I see at least 90%, maybe more, of what's going on out there with what's called the church and Christian faith and belief in Christ. It seems like, to me, unfortunately, that's the category that all this fits into. And there's a lot of total phonies out there, and it's sickened me for so long. I'm not going to name anyone, but especially they'll have rapture channels, they'll have dreams and visions channels, and they're liars and they're deceivers and they're phonies, and they're going after money. But who recognizes it? And that's been bothering me too. Who recognizes these things? Who has the discernment to see these things? And I've been trying to say what they are and to warn about them, and it's done really just about nothing. It's really been had no effect. It really has. Again, I'm just one person. I realize that, but I speak from my heart. I speak because of Jesus' Spirit within me. That's all. I don't speak. I'm not here for any other reason. I speak the truth no matter what, regardless of what anyone thinks or says or comes against it or comes against the things that I feel are the truth, but not just doctrines, not just opinions, because it's my opinion, but it's the truth of God's Spirit, of His Spirit, that Jesus, His Spirit that speaks through us, and for others to recognize that between ourselves. And there's a few, and I'm very glad that they're still with me here, or put it this way, that we're together with each other, phrase it that way. But as far as me, this is my channel, and so others are listeners. But I'm glad that there's at least a handful out there that are, with me. Put it that way, supporting me, and with Jesus, because I think that that's the whole point. That I'm not doing this of myself, and it's His voice, and I think that's why He's sorrowful. I really do. Again, I think that was His experience when He was on earth, and I could certainly relate to that now, and it seems so bizarre to me how all this can be like this and exist. It's just like a big farce, a big deception, and a mirage. Mostly all of it out there, when Christ is everything. It's very simple and plain. And Jesus said Himself, you must be born again, and unless you become in your heart, through that transformation, like a child, become childlike and innocent of heart, and have that change, then you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. And it's that simple. Just look at a child, the heart of a child, and you'll know what salvation is, and what Jesus came to do. When you just look at the innocence of a child, but how many are innocent? There's so many there that aren't. They have all their doctrinal ducks lined up, no matter what it is, grace or works or whatever, and they know everything. And some of them seem to actually do. They seem to be experts, but they're experts on nothing. They're experts on smoke, vanity, foolishness, even though it uses scripture and claims of faith and claim to be believers and sticking up for the truth and all that. But Jesus isn't there. Jesus is off nowhere. He's just not the focus point. No one talks about Jesus when they try to lead someone to Christ, unless they have and I'm not being sarcastic, it's almost like they need to have a notebook there. They need to have their list to say this verse and that verse. And my point is, if you can't tell people what the gospel is without even having to have certain scriptures, but just know in your heart what it is and say it, because it's the truth, and present Jesus to them just spontaneously from your heart, then what is it? It's a lot of words, all right? Whether someone tries to say that it's a work to try to accept Jesus into your heart, well, it's a work to try to accept Jesus into your mind, even though you say it's by grace. That's a work too, and I tried to say that. I'm not getting off topic here because it's not been accepted whatsoever anyway, so it doesn't matter. I mean, Calvin Bamberg, when he was here, it was great because he used to come to my channel and deal with a lot of things, and if there were issues and I didn't want to get involved in everything, I would wait and he would come along and he would support me, especially in the truths of what I was saying, doctrinally. And he was one of the rare ones that actually defended what I was saying and stood up and said, that's the truth, And so we're not just saved by grace, by an idea or a fact. We're not saved by works. We're not saved by anything but by Jesus, by him and himself, and not doctrine, not anything else whatsoever. But who tells anyone to go to Jesus to get that salvation? When it's time, it said that, it's time to preach the gospel, like that kind of thing. Well, it's always time to preach the gospel because the gospel is Jesus. Everything is Jesus. It's not a time just to say certain verses or to explain certain things or to sort this out or that. Though, of course, that's necessary, but it's not the heart of things. It's not the heart of Jesus. God's Spirit is the heart of everything. And his Spirit leading others, and Jesus himself drawing others and saving others. He himself, others having that encounter with him, then they'll know he's alive. Then they'll know he rose from the dead on the third day. Then they'll know all those things that are just repeated, like I don't know what, just mindlessly in many ways, and it doesn't have the life in it. Many aren't really responsible for that. In one sense, they may be new believers, and again, trying to bat heads with these false teachers. Again, whether it's grace, a false grace, or false works. I guess I should repeat here again, if you're new to my channel, I absolutely believe 100% we're only saved by grace. And once you have Jesus in you, you can't lose your salvation. You have his Spirit within you. It's forever. You're sealed, and you have the assurance of salvation, and you will never, ever lose that. You can't lose Jesus if he's in you. You become one with him, with his Spirit. You don't hear any of this. You don't hear anything really of what I'm saying. You don't. I'm not being proud, but really, I can't name really. I might be able to if I really tried, and there might be some out there that I'm not knowledgeable of. But I don't hear any of this. I don't hear anything of the way that I preach and what I said from the Spirit, and if necessary, come against whatever needs to be come against, and not be afraid and speak out. And I seemed very contentious. I seemed divisive. I've been accused of all kinds of things just for trying to speak the truth, trying to give discernment and show who's false or not, who's real and who's false. And so I get accused of being gossiping and divisive, and shame on you, and all kinds of garbage, crap. I'm sorry, I had to say it. I wanted to. That's what it all is. And so again, I'm not holding anything inside. I'm not upset. You may think I am. May think I'm like whatever you might think that I am. I'm not. I'm fine. It's just that it's very sad. It's very tragic, and others won't listen. They won't learn. They won't accept the truth. And unless you're in Christ and Christ is in you, you're not saved. And unless unless it's just by grace that you're saved by, then it's false. And unfortunately, I think there's so many out there that don't accept that and think that they have faith in Jesus, and they're doing it on their own. They're acting holy and righteous and everything, and it's ridiculous. They come against grace. It's the most ridiculous thing there is, almost like coming against love. The same kind of thing. Who would come against love? Who would come against God's grace to try to justify oneself, and then try to charge everyone and condemn everyone else for not being as holy as they are, and making sure if they're not, then they're not close to God. They're not going to stay saved. They're not going to be saved. They're not going to be raptured. It's all garbage. How many out there once more are afraid to see Jesus, are afraid of the rapture, and many live in fear. And the ones who are in a false gospel, a works gospel, seems like 99% of those, and again, it's not a doctrinal thing, but I'm making a general observation. 99% of those usually don't believe in the rapture happening, but of going through, part of the tribulation or whatever. In other words, not the pre-tribulation rapture. And they don't have any hope. They don't have any assurance. They don't have any even really need or desire for Jesus to return in one sense. And that's not their focus. That's not their hope. It's just a doctrinal issue and something to dispute about, and not a longing for Jesus himself, but a fear of being found worthy, or being found ready, or being found worthy and righteous and prepared enough in their own power, so that on that fateful day when they do eventually come face to face with him, then hopefully they won't hear, "Depart from me." And that is not salvation. I just heard someone say today, and I've said it before, that Jesus is more excited and eager to see us than we are to see him. All right, he died for our sins, past, present, and future. He's not going to condemn us. He will never condemn us. We're saved. He saved us. He bought us for a price by his blood. It's not just saying that one has faith that gives them salvation. It's that fact alone. He wants everyone to be assured of that and to know that. And that brings hope and desire to see him, and to be gone from here with that assurance, knowing that that's where we're going to be. We don't have to worry about that whatsoever, or fret over it, or try to, do last minute things to prepare ourselves. And if we don't do all these things and make sure we do an extra special job and extra hard, so that when Jesus returns, he'll see that we're worthy enough by what we did, and so hopefully he'll say, "Okay, well, now I accept you. I give you this free gift of salvation." When it's not a free gift, that's a false notion of grace. That it's just because it comes from God, it's a gift, yeah, but then you have to do other things to earn that gift, and that's a false grace. It's mostly all false grace, whether it's in works camp or the so-called grace camp with Gnostic belief, and I'm sick of that too, and I hear that everywhere. It's such a dry, stale version of grace. Again, Jesus is nowhere. It's just repeating this fact, this verse, and that, even though it might be true about grace, but it's not about Jesus. It's not going to him. It's not the experience of him giving you eternal life and a new creation and changed and an inner birth and all those things, his fruits within you. And it's a total deception. Most of those out there, they come against that as a work, that it's not necessary. Only faith is necessary. Well, no, not only faith is not only necessary in that sense, whether one does works to try to be saved and is self-righteous, or claiming to use grace in the same way, in the same dead way. It's not a test. Like if you pass the test of understanding the definitions of what grace is, then that automatically qualifies you to be saved. It's all still under their own power. Okay, I'm almost done here. If there's anyone left listening, especially young believers, don't get confused by what I said. We need to know Scripture. We need to know truth. We need to know about grace, but that's not in and of itself salvation. It's not just about facts. No matter what it is, it's not just about doctrine. It's about Jesus. Go to him, and you will be changed. You will be inwardly changed and transformed. And all those doctrines and all those issues and all those, questions and wonders and being puzzled about things, it will all be clear to you inwardly, and it will be clear to you for that reason, because Jesus is in you and his Spirit is in you, and you will know the truth, and because for that reason, by his Spirit that is in you. There's a lot of fake grace teachers and preachers, whether they're male or female out there, that have spearheaded all of this, and it's a total deception. I preach grace, but I preach it all. I preach who is Jesus. I preach him alone. Go to him. Inward, born again. That's the reason why they've opposed me and hate my guts for the things that I've said with regard to grace, for that reason. Because they don't have that. They don't have that inside of them. They haven't been transformed, and that's why they oppose the things that I've said all along, when I'm nothing but grace. And it's been a lie, utter lie, trying to smear me that I'm no longer in grace. And it's a total, that's been a total farce, a lie. True believers should be able to discern the truth, to discern the difference, to understand what I was trying to say in all these things. The only thing you're going to take with you is Christ in you when Jesus returns, if you're born again and saved. That's all. That's the only thing that's going to be rescued and taken and ransomed and worthy, is Christ in you. And if you have Christ in you, then you're worthy. You're worthy now. You will be worthy forever. And you'll be worthy because of Jesus. And when he returns, you will be taken without any question. So I really hope this is my final video. I hope we leave here before I get a chance to do another video. And I felt Jesus' Spirit within me the whole time doing this, saying all these things right deep down in the middle of my being, my soul. And it may not be accepted what I said, or think that I'm saying things I shouldn't have said, but I believe this is what Jesus is saying. This is what he wants to say right now. And it's not only coming from my mouth, but his Spirit within me, that I feel that I should have said the things that I just said on this very, very long video. But I'll conclude here in saying that I'm very hopeful. I'm upbeat. I know Jesus is returning, despite all these things that I said. The condition of what's known as the church down here right now. I'm just looking for Jesus to return, and that's it, regardless of anything I went through or things I'm saying here, what I'm feeling right now, that hope is here right now for that to take place. And that's great. And that, to me, that overrides all of this, overrides everything. And so whether I saw Jesus or not with those images, regardless, it feels like, just from seeing them, that I did. In my spirit, it seems so real to me. He seems so real to me, again, to the point that when he finally appears, it's not going to surprise me, because his faith is within me that much that I know he's real, and I know he's there, and that when I see him, it's not going to be a surprise to me, or I'm not going to be worried about, not being accepted or rejected or whatever, okay? Because we know him here in our bodies, in our souls, we know him. So we already know him, all right? Just because we didn't see his face yet in person, but we know him. We know he's there. We know he's real, as if he's here right now with us. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. That's the kind of faith that gives us that assurance and that hope and that, desire and longing and looking forward to what's about to happen. And it could happen anytime. It could happen while I'm asleep, which I didn't get to sleep yet. It's like 4:15 Eastern time right now, but I feel very good. I feel awake. I feel good in every way. So, but it's just this overwhelming sense that something bad is going to happen any second here, and also in conjunction with the rapture, with Jesus is gonna appear really now. I think it's that close. This tension has been just in the air for days and days and days, and it won't go away. It just gets more intense, stronger and stronger in the deepest part of me. Something is major is going to happen here, and this tension just keeps going, and I think it'll keep building until we're gone from here. So I tried to warn. I don't know if this did much good of what I said here, but it was a kind of a warning also together with everything that I said. So there's going to be a last warning at some time. If this is a final warning, then it is, because you don't know when he's going to appear, and you become ready by having Jesus within you and by the things that I said, not just playing religion, playing word games with the definition of grace. Jesus wants you to let go of your self-righteousness right this moment and go to him personally and let him save you once and for all. Stop playing these games, these religious self-holiness games, and towards others, and condemning everyone else and despising his grace. And that's really my final word. God bless.